My tenant painted my entire house bright blue and said squatters' rights made it his. My tenant Lyle had been renting my property on Maple Street for exactly 18 months. Ever since he'd read some article online about adverse possession, he'd been acting like he owned the place. He'd tell the neighbors he was planning renovations. Tell the mailman this was the Lyle residence now. Even had business cards printed with my property address listed as Lyle's estate. His buddy Frank from the bar encouraged him. Possession is 9/10 of the law, brother. You've been there almost 2 years. That house is basically yours. Lyle had done the math. In our state, adverse possession kicked in at 24 months of continuous occupation if the owner didn't properly maintain oversight. He figured I lived 3 states away, only visited once a year. Perfect situation for a taking. What Lyle didn't know was that I visited every 6 weeks. I just came at night to check the exterior and review my property manager's reports. Last Tuesday, I got a call from my property manager, Janet. You need to see your house today. I drove 4 hours thinking maybe there was storm damage or a break-in. What I found was my beautiful Victorian home, the one my grandmother left me, painted electric blue, not navy, not sky blue. Electric, neon, assault your eyeballs blue. Every inch of siding, trim, even the front door. Lyle was on the porch with a beer, admiring his work. He saw me pull up and grinned. Hey, landlord, or should I say former landlord. Love what I've done with my place? I stood there staring at my destroyed property. Your place? What are you talking about, Lyle? He pulled out a folder of printed internet articles. Adverse possession. I've been here 18 months, making improvements, maintaining the property. You barely show your face. Another 6 months and this place is legally mine. Painting it is just establishing my claim, making it clear to everyone that Lyle Wooten lives here now. I looked at the paint job closer. It was even worse than I thought. He'd painted over the vintage brass fixtures, the stained glass window details, everything. This paint job must have cost thousands, I said. Lyle laughed. $8,000 actually. Premium weatherproof paint. 5 coats. Had a whole crew here last weekend while you were sitting in your apartment 3 states away. This is an investment in my future property. Janet was taking photos of everything. She whispered to me, he paid cash. Bragged to the whole paint crew about how smart he was. The neighbors had come out to watch. Mrs. Hendricks from next door shook her head. He had 10 guys here with sprayers. Said you gave him permission to express himself. We knew something was wrong, but he showed us those articles about squatters' rights. My phone rang. It was Tom from the paint store. Hey, I heard about what happened to your grandmother's house. Just wanted you to know something interesting. What's that, Tom? Well, Lyle came in last week, bought $8,000 worth of our premium series paint, paid cash. But here's the thing. He specifically asked for the stuff that bonds permanently. Said he wanted it to be impossible to remove. Tom paused. That paint he used? It's got lead-based primer underneath. We haven't sold that in 15 years. He must have gotten it from some shady supplier to save money, then covered it with our good stuff on top. I asked Tom why that mattered. Lead paint violations are federal crimes, he explained. EPA fines start at $37,000 per day, and if he disturbed existing lead paint without proper remediation, that's criminal charges. Plus, anyone who knowingly applies lead paint to a rental property they don't own, that's considered environmental terrorism. I thanked Tom and turned to Lyle, who was still grinning like he'd won the lottery. Lyle, did you check what kind of primer you used? He waved me off. Who cares about primer? The important thing is this house is mine now, or will be in 6 months. Janet pulled out her tablet. Actually, Mr. Wooten, adverse possession in this state requires 24 months of hostile possession. You've been here 18, but more importantly, you've been paying rent every month. She showed him his payment history. Adverse possession requires occupation without permission. Every rent payment you made is legal acknowledgement that you're a tenant, not an owner. You can't claim squatters' rights while simultaneously paying rent. Lyle's face went red. Then I'll stop paying rent. Janet smiled. Then you'll be evicted in 30 days for non-payment. An eviction resets any adverse possession claim to 0. But here's the real problem, Mr. Wooten. She pulled up environmental regulations on her tablet. Full story on channel, link below.